You know that feeling when you walk into a room full of people and something inside you just closes? One moment you have thoughts, things you want to say, the next nothing, you go blank. And you've probably told yourself it's shyness or social anxiety or just the way you're wired. Going silent the moment others show up isn't your personality. It's something you figured out when you were very small, because your safety depended on it. There's a specific pattern underneath that silence, and it has almost nothing to do with confidence or introversion. Let me walk you through what's actually happening. It probably started somewhere unremarkable. You were 5 or 6, maybe younger, and there was someone in your life, a parent, a caregiver, who had a lot going on. Not always explosively, sometimes it was quieter than that, tired, stressed. Carrying something heavy that had nothing to do with you, and you were there, watching. Kids notice everything. What you learned, so without anyone sitting you down to teach you, was this. When that person was already stretched thin, your needs made it worse. Your wanting something, asking for something, needing something meant they had to stop and deal with you on top of everything else. So you stopped asking. You got smaller, you watched their face before you spoke. You learned to predict when it was safe and when it wasn't. You got very, very good at reading the room, and then something locked it in. You went quiet, you made yourself small, and the tension in the house didn't spike. Nobody got angry. The thing you were afraid of didn't happen. Your silence had actually worked. It solved something real. So you did it again and again. Every time you sensed someone was overwhelmed or carrying something heavy, you subtracted yourself. You became the person who didn't need anything, who didn't take up room, who made it easier for everyone else to just breathe. That works. It genuinely works for a while. You feel safe because you've figured out the system. You know your role. You're the steady one, the self-sufficient one, the one who doesn't burden anyone. But then you go to school, you're in a group project. There's a party, there are 10 people in a room instead of 2 or 3, and suddenly that old strategy breaks down. Because now you don't know who to read. There's no one person whose mood you can monitor to figure out if you're safe. There's noise, unpredictability, too many variables. And the only thing your nervous system knows how to do is what it always did, disappear. Go quiet. Don't take up air. Watch. Except now you're not protecting anyone by going quiet. You're just gone, and you hate it. You hate that you can't find words. You hate going home and thinking about everything you could have said. You hate that people probably think you're cold or distant or weird. But you hate even more the idea of speaking up, because speaking up feels dangerous in a way you can't quite put into words. This pattern has a name, fawning. And I want to be careful with that word, because fawning sounds like it's all about being a people pleaser, and that's only part of it. Fawning, in plain terms, is what happens when your nervous system learns that your safety depends on anticipating other people's needs and staying small enough not to create new problems. It's a survival response, the same category as fight or flight, except instead of attacking or running, you shrink, you accommodate, you disappear. Your body does it automatically before your conscious mind has a chance to weigh in. Your nervous system is constantly scanning for threat. That's true for everyone. But for you, the threat it's trained to find isn't physical danger. It's disapproval. Someone being disappointed in you, taking up space and watching someone's mood darken because of it. The moment you walk into a group, your nervous system can't settle because it can't predict what happens if you speak. Too many unknowns. The calculation it keeps landing on is, don't try, so it mutes you. Not consciously, you're not. You're not deciding to be quiet. Your body is doing it because it learned that silence keeps people from having to deal with your needs, and that keeping people comfortable keeps you safe. The painful part is that staying silent doesn't actually make you safe. It leaves you feeling alone in a room full of people. But your nervous system doesn't have that information yet. It's still running on something you wrote when you were 6. Once you see this clearly, something changes. Because the pattern wasn't a flaw. You weren't born unable to speak in groups. You developed a skill, exhausting, yes, painful now, but a real one. You learned to read people faster than most. You learned to manage your own needs quietly. Those things aren't bad. They're just running in the wrong context. Your nervous system is still protecting something that doesn't need the same protection anymore. What it was protecting was your relationship with the people who mattered most to you. It was protecting you from being the reason someone's bad day got worse. It was protecting the only home you had. And as a kid, that was everything. Disappearing a little meant you got to stay. It meant you mattered. Just not in ways that cost anyone anything. You're not a kid anymore, though. You don't have to earn your place by making yourself smaller. And the moment you actually feel that, not just think it, but feel it somewhere in your chest, the silence stops being automatic. It becomes something you can actually choose. So what helps? Start with low-stakes moments. Say one thing in a small group chat. Ask a question in a meeting. A real one, not a performance. Tell someone the coffee was good, nothing huge. Something small and true. Because your nervous system needs evidence, repeated evidence, that speaking doesn't blow things up. One data point won't do it. 50 might start too. The second thing, when you go quiet, instead of criticizing yourself for it, get curious about what you're afraid will happen if you speak. And be specific. It'll be awkward, isn't specific enough. Try, I'll say something stupid and someone will think I'm dumb, or I'll contradict someone and they'll be annoyed with me, or everyone will look at me and I'll freeze. Get the fear out of the vague and into actual words. Because most of the time, when you say it plainly, you can see it. The fear is based on information that's decades old. It's what a 6-year-old figured out. And you have more to work with now than you did then. People don't actually need you to disappear. Some people might prefer it. Because they learned the same pattern and your taking up space makes them uncomfortable. But that's their thing to sort out. Most people would genuinely rather know you're there. They'd rather hear from you. Even something small, even something uncertain. Maybe especially that. So when you walk into a room and feel that familiar closing happen, remember that you're not quiet because you have nothing to say. You're quiet because once, a long time ago, your silence solved something real. It kept someone from tipping over. It kept you connected. Your nervous system learned that lesson so well, it never stopped applying it. What feels like your nature, that inability to find words when the room fills up, is something you learned. And what gets learned can slowly be relearned. If this is you, there's more like this every week on Apophenia. Come find us.